Hello and welcome to the Redmen TV. We're here with the news for Thursday, the 17th of January. Bit of a slow day, really.
Very slow day. So
Yeah.
we've just finished doing the Reds transfer roundup on the website. So doing this twice in one day when it's a slow news day is going to be good fun.
Yeah, I mean, there is a bit of news. There is a reason why you've clicked on, obviously. We're going to start off with the Curtis Jones stuff. So it's been reported that Curtis Jones being targeted by a host of Bundesliga teams, according to The Independent. Mike Miguel Delaney claims Jones and several other young stars across the Premier League are being tracked by German clubs following the success of Jadon Sancho. That's the big thing for me, isn't it? It is the Jadon Sancho stuff. It's he's had such a good he had such a good basically time at Germany that everyone wants to jump on the back of that, don't they?
Yeah, I mean it's fair enough. Like you see a star like James Sancho come out and do the bits that he's doing right now, but there's a lot of English clubs that are like, well, let's try our luck with our English players that aren't doing much at the minute and try them out in Germany. But for me, Jadon Sancho's a bit of a one in a million, isn't he? Like, how often does a young English talent go out there and just absolutely grow into somebody that's been as fantastic as he is? I mean, he's the best player in their team.
Yeah.
And you've got the likes of Royce and players such as that he's absolutely leagues ahead, and he's like 19 years old, and it's fair, and like I'm not surprised.
It's one of them. Jones turns 18.
Yeah.
At the end of January. Is he going to get that much game time? He's definitely not getting much game time for the rest of the season because look, within the Champions League, we're going for a Premier League title. These aren't the positions where you say, okay, young talent, go and do something for me. This is the time for your more experienced players to step up and carry on doing it for you. But I mean, in terms of progressing his own career, in terms of a selfish move for him, it could be interesting. It could be one of them where he goes out on loan, like you've seen a Ryan Kent do.
Yeah.
And he can just go, bang, there you go, I'm good enough. You've seen Harry Wilson, and we'll talk about him later as well. Seen him lighting it up against other teams, for other teams, I should say. Well, I mean, would you do it? Say if you were in Jones's boots, would you go to Germany?
Yeah, I think I would. And I mean, there's the German league at the minute. Obviously, it's never been more sort of each way. Like there's like 6 or 7 teams in that league at the minute that are vying for that top spot. I mean, there's Dortmund are ahead with Bayern 3 to 6 points behind, but there's a lot of close contention, which the German league's not normally like that.
Yeah.
So it doesn't give a specific club, but a host of those top 6 clubs, you would do absolutely wonders for him. And I think, like you were saying, you look at our team now. Does he get in ahead of Mane? No. Does anybody? The people who get in after Mane are the likes of Keita or Shaqiri will come in and will move Salah to the left. This team is there's so much riding on this team this season, especially to try new things out. And obviously, when we do try things out in the FA Cup, then it's normally with a host of other players. So it wasn't fair really to judge him off of his FA Cup performance because he's playing with 6 or 7 players that don't play together at all. But my point stands is that this season, no, and I think next season when we build on the great players that we've got, I feel like he needs to go away and do a Harry Wilson and go and prove that he's got the quality to do it in the first team of a Premier League football club.
Yeah, one man who did go to Germany and it didn't really work out for him, he's back now at the club, is Divock Origi.
Yes.
Now, I say all the talk is, there's some talk, a tiny bit of talk,
A little bit.
of basically Harry Kane's out till April.
Yep.
Llorente's not good enough for them. There's talk, doing the rumours, doing the rounds that Origi could be going to Spurs. I mean, it's not going to happen.
No,
we're not going to let him go.
No.
Because we need the cover in there, and I don't think Daniel Sturridge by himself is enough. Really, we've let Solanke go, we've let Ings go, and we'll just be too short there. And for me, this is a big no.
No.
You keep him on the books because he's so versatile. He can play on the wing, he can play up top. He's someone you can throw on at the end of the game and either run down the channels for you or get the ball to feet and lay it off. He's not as good as Bobby Firmino at laying it off. Yeah. He's not as good as Salah at running the channels, but he'll do a job. What do you think about this?
I agree, and I think I can see why the link is there. Obviously, apart from the fact that Spurs' main striker's injured, Llorente's not there, and they're going to link to players that are out of favour for Premier League clubs for the Premier League experience. And it makes sense because obviously Kane, Llorente, and even Origi are similar players. They're tall, they're big, get on the end of crosses, but they're also technically good with their feet. So it's a fair. It makes sense that he's linked, but there's no chance surely because I mean he's got, like you said, the depth we need there is crucial. And I think Origi at times, the times I've seen him, he's actually played quite a lot better than Sturridge. I mean, look at the FA Cup that we went to. Look at the Everton game. He comes on and he's had an impact. He's had a difference, and I wouldn't want to let him go, especially to a title rival.
Well, that's the big thing. Someone just commented. Sorry, it went past. So I don't know your name. Sorry, but he said, "Why would he help Spurs out?
Yeah,
Why would you help
exactly.
Spurs out? What? Look, they've lost a talismanic player for them. He's the one player you take off Spurs if you want them. If you want to damage their chances of a title race, it's him and his son." And they're both gone.
Yeah.
There you go. And this is now the pair. I wish no ill will on any football player at all. You don't want to see this ever. You don't want to see a player go out, no matter what the circumstances are. But in the same vein, they're going to drop off now.
Yeah.
And now theoretically, it's just a race between us and City. Why would you help Spurs?
No, and you look at their team. I mean, they've just lost Dembele to that Chinese club today, haven't they? They've got Lucas is injured.
Yeah.
Wanyama is injured.
Yeah.
Harry Kane's injured now. Son's just gone to the Asia Cup. I mean, like, Spurs are dead in the water at this point, aren't they? I mean, it was so close between the three of us for a long time, and now Spurs have completely fell away in the space of about a week.
Yeah,
it's mental, and there's, like I said, you don't want to see injuries, but we are not in the position to go and give a helping hand to a team like Spurs. Maybe when they were 7th, 8th back in the years, fine, yeah, they're a nice club. I like the football they play, but now this is about us. This is about us and City, and the closer we can get to getting an edge on all those teams below us, the better. And I think Origi's too good of a player to let go, especially to somebody like Spurs.
So if we were to let Origi go, there's someone we could theoretically bring in. Now this is again a massive rumour that has not been sourced, or I can't find a source apart from a Twitter, basically a tweet. It's all come from a tweet, so as far as I can tell. Immobile, Ciro Immobile, 28-year-old, 29 goals in Serie A. And apparently Klopp has ordered his scouts to watch him. This isn't backed up anywhere that I can find.
No.
But you talked about him on the Reds transfer roundup quite a lot in depth. So if you want to see a massive chat about this, go over there and watch that. But what are your thoughts?
So the crux of the talk that we were having on the transfer roundup is that much like Timo Werner, the player we've been linked with over the last year or so now. He's very, very utilitarian player in the sense of he's exactly the sort of striker that would fit a system that Klopp is implementing, where you can play a 4-2-3-1, you can play a 4-3-3, and he can chop and change across the front line where needed. So Werner could play on the wide, could play in the 9, he could play in the 10.
Yeah.
And Immobile is exactly that. And it's a sense of bringing in, scouting players that you know that potentially will become available to a club that are performing better than the club they're currently at, and does the link make sense? And it does. And Immobile is a fantastic player. I mean, he's got 10 goals, 2 assists this season in 19 starts. He said 29 and 9 assists last season in 33 games. He's an absolute goal machine, and he works so hard for his team. And he's a link that completely makes sense. And I think that the discussion we have, which I'd like to ask you, is if he comes into the team, do you think he becomes a rotational team, or do you think we would adapt and play a 4-3-1 and bring him straight into the first team?
It's going to be rotational. I mean, you've seen how Salah has adapted to that number 9 role.
Yeah.
You've seen how Bobby can play that number 9 and number 10. You've seen just how fluid we are in attack, and it's whether he would fit that style of play, and whether he could cover, whether he has the legs to be able to do the press. I think a massive... Look, Salah's not the biggest in terms of what... Basically, when Salah plays the number 9 defensively, is not the same as how Bobby Firmino plays number 9 defensively in terms of tracking back.
Yeah.
And we lose a bit of that... defensive impetus up top, but what you gain by having Salah up top is just massive. And for me, the one downside and why I don't think this will happen, or maybe at least not in January, look, he's 28, and when was the last time we went for someone like that?
Or how often do Italian players work in the Premier League, let alone for Liverpool?
So it's one of them. Unless we're thinking Daniel Sturridge is going to go, so let's get in someone experienced, proven goal scorer, can put the ball away when you need him to, and you can put him in these FA Cup games where Daniel Sturridge hasn't been performing. Where you can, obviously Daniel Sturridge has been performing at the end of games, as an impact sub, you saw against Chelsea and games like that, and you're thinking, when teams are tired and you put someone on who's a fearsome player and you're going all out, that's the only reason why I think we get him. I don't know if you're not playing him ahead of Bobby, you're not playing him ahead of Salah for me, and he would just be a step up from a Sturridge or an Origi. That's my thoughts.
Yeah, no, I agree, and I posed the thought that I've liked the 4-3-1 this season. I've said on many shows that that's my preferred formation that we play this season. And I think the results show we score more goals, we concede less goals. And I prefer it. I think the shape works a lot better for the way we play because we can implement Shaqiri. We can have that. You can sit deep with 6. You can attack with 6. There's a lot more going on the pitch than a 4-3-3 offers. And I think that what Immobile does is he allows you to bring him straight into the team if you so wish. So obviously, Salah's been playing in the 9 and Bobby's been playing in the 10. And this literally means that you can put Salah out on the right, Mane on the left, Immobile up front, and then Bobby behind. So it's like there's no need. I get the rotation argument, but I think there is ground there and there's space there for him to come straight in. And I think he's not a January signing. I mean, he's too crucial to Lazio for them to let him go in January, unless it was for like a ridiculous 100 million plus price tag. It's not going to happen. So, but like you say, if he's 28 years old, I don't know when he's 29, but in the summer, when the summer comes, Lazio might look at this as their last opportunity to be like, well, this guy's really getting on a bit, and the style of play that he plays, maybe he'll want to go. And say if someone like Liverpool, whether we're Premier League champions or not, fingers crossed, come in for him and they say, look, come and join us. We're going to go on it for a second year. A player like him, I can't see, and looking at Klopp's system, won't be excited. Won't be like, absolutely, I'd love to come and try it in this league.
So another one he's out on loan at the moment. Harry Wilson pretty much got Derby through against Southampton. Towards the end of the game, he scores a free kick and then gets an assist. He's had 25 appearances for Derby. He's got 11 goals and he's had 3 assists. Yep. That's a brilliant return, and it's a discussion point in terms of. I'm going to ask you, with that type of form, what else does he need to do to try and get in the squad? And does he even get in the Liverpool team ahead of anyone else in the team? Because he has been performing well there for Derby. But do you think that's good enough to get in ahead in the likes of Shaqiri or the Sadio Mane? What are your thoughts?
I just don't. I mean, I said this. The first thing I said this morning when I came into the office was, do you think Harry Wilson gets it over Mane? And Steve, Chris, someone saying, I said no. Mane is top 20 players that have played for Liverpool in the modern era, and you can't argue. I mean, you look at Mane and you see, okay, sometimes he has quiet games, but his ability is unquestioned. You can't question his ability. Like he's a fantastic player. Harry Wilson's gone to a championship side that are doing brilliantly, and he's doing brilliantly. He's scored the most outside of the box free kicks than anyone in England.
Double the last person. Yeah.
Exactly, and you cannot argue his form, and I think he's doing brilliantly. But I couldn't think of a better place for him to be at right now, apart from potentially somebody like Rangers, because she's learning from one of the best goal scorer midfielders that's ever played in Frank Lampard. Yeah. I bet he is learning an absolute wealth of knowledge from that play.
Everything. Yeah.
Positionally, how to strike a ball, just how to keep a cool head in situations like that when he has he's won games at the death for Derby multiple times this season now. I think he's a brilliant player, and I think he's too good for the Championship. But is he? It's strange, isn't it? Because it's not like he's going from the Championship to a top six, just if he comes from the Championship into a side that's not in the top 6, I think that transition is okay. But when you come in from a Championship side that are challenging to a side that's challenging for the title, that's a huge league. No matter what form, he could be on 30 goals in the Championship, and does he still get into the team?
No, it's true. I saw the comment then. Again, it went too fast. Sorry about that, but I will read it out. Basically, someone said he's not the replacement for Mane. He's the replacement for Lallana. And in that kind of situation, I'd agree with that. I mean, obviously Lallana's still got a couple of years left with us. But if he can get in there ahead of Lallana as that player who comes in and puts a shift in, can break forward. If you think of the Oxlade-Chamberlain kind of role in that, obviously we don't really play in that formation anymore. But if we were to go back to a 4-3-3 consistently, Harry Wilson could do a really good job in that position, couldn't he? I'd be interested to see his defensive work, because you need to know that first and foremost. But sorry, Moesi, I think it was who says that. Yeah, Moesi. Wilson plays as number 8 for Derby, so he can replace Lallana. That was the comment. Thank you. But that is interesting. As much as Lallana's not been performing, and the last time we brought him on the Champions League final and he hadn't played all season, and that kind of everyone after that, not everyone, but a lot of people went, oh, he's not good enough now. But you've got to, Lallana's been an okay player for us for a while, but could you see that as a replacement thing?
Yeah, so the argument I was making, obviously, if you're coming from a Championship side to a side that are challenging for a Premier League title, that you can't make that transition. But if you're coming from a Championship side to replace a player that's in rotation in that team, absolutely, especially a player that misses the amount of games that Lallana does. I mean, he's been injured for most of this season. Say he was fully fit, he would probably have played 6, 7, maybe 10 performances this season in all the cup games and in a few off the bench appearances for the club. that is the role I think Harry Wilson, if he did come to the team, would have to sort of be okay with.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's Derby's man at the minute, so it's whether he wants to stay there and be that man under Frank Lampard, which is fine. I've got no problem with that whatsoever. First team football for a team that are on the up under a really, really proactive manager, which is fine. If he wants to do that, that's sound. But if he does come to us, I think he could replace Lallana. It's a really good point. I mean, he's really, really on his way out for me. Not that we're going to sell him, but it's just we don't see him. I haven't seen Lallana since obviously 2 or 3 seasons ago when he just is a guy that's made out of glass and he comes back for a bit and then he's just gone again. You can never rely on it. If you've got a guy like Harry Wilson that you can rely on for fantastic set pieces, for creative link-up play, for, like I say, I don't know his defensive work, but he's playing as an 8. I'm sure he must have some defensive prowess about him. Otherwise, he's not going to be playing that position. I'd love him at Liverpool. I just wouldn't want to stunt his growth. So if it meant that he comes in and he's okay with playing a handful of games in a season, absolutely perfect substitute that you can bring on off the bench. But if he'd rather stay there and be Derby's man and play every game of the season, fair play to him. Like, you can't, he's doing fantastically. And if it means he doubles his tally next season, that's when you're sort of like, now he's in contention for a first team place. But for now, I think it's a really good debate to have.
No, it's fair enough, and that's basically the end of the news/rumours. So that's Curtis Jones being targeted by some German clubs, and Mobile apparently, it's not really, but apparently we're scouting him. Origi to Spurs has been rumoured. It's probably not going to happen. And then Harry Wilson, we just wanted to talk about how good he's been. We did get a green super chat before from Sham Ul Hussan. Thank you very much. He says, do we need another centre-back considering we could be facing Bayern without a fit senior centre-half as Van Dijk is suspended? Well, Gomez is going to be back.
He is.
Matip should be back. Well, he should be back this weekend, Matip. I don't think we do, because what's the point in going out and panic buying? We didn't panic buy when we wanted Van Dijk. I know things are kind of different now because, look, we are going for the Premier League and the Champions League. We do want to get through, and this first leg is going to be massive. Van Dijk, not having Van Dijk at home against Bayern Munich is going to be tough. They have some quality in there, and we've seen just how vital Van Dijk is in terms of marshalling that back line. Not even the back line, but the whole midfield. Just telling everyone where to be and how to do it. And everyone knows how to do it, but it's just someone in their ear constantly telling them what to do. But do you think a back line of Gomez and Matip could do it? I mean, Lovren might be back. I don't know. But Gomez is good enough for me, I think.
Yeah. And I mean, the Bayern game's how many weeks away now? Is it 3 or 4?
I'm not sure.
So, well, good knowledge, Liverpool knowledge here on the channel. But Gomez, obviously, he could be back as early as next week. So, as long as he gets a handful of games under his belt, 4 or 5 games where you look at him when he plays with Van Dijk, he is basically Van Dijk in a different form. Like, he says the same attributes. He's a leader. He's played at the back with Matip in the past, and he's been the commanding centre half. If he comes back from this injury and is as good as a Joe Gomez as you've ever had, then not a problem, not a worry whatsoever for me. And I think Matip he showed in the spells that he had before he got injured, obviously in the last minute of the Champions League game, he's fine as well. Not a problem. And if this was away at Bayern Munich, I could see why you'd be a bit worried, because obviously you're losing that defensive home leg sort of prowess that you get from being at Anfield in a stadium that's as loud as that. But you've got to remember that the likes of Alisson who's as much of a leader as Van Dijk is at the back there, that can command that centre-half partnership. I don't think we need to sign another centre-half, but something that else was discussed in the Reds transfer news today. We are supposedly linked with Conor Cody from Wolves, the centre-half, captain of Wolves, obviously, as you know. Do you think he would be, if we were in the market for a centre-half, a good replacement or a good backup for one of our ageing centre-halves?
I really like Conor Cody. Really, really like him. I think his defensive work's fantastic. I think his passing is unreal. Both times he played them, he was just spraying passes out to the fullbacks, and for me, that was fantastic. I like watching him play. He seems to just embody like hard work and spirit, and that's what you want out of a player. Would he come to us and be third choice, fourth choice? Because that's what he'd be. He's not getting in there ahead of a partnership of Van Dijk and Gomez for me, purely because Van Dijk's the best centre-back in the world, and Gomez is training to become the best centre-back in the world next to Van Dijk, and I don't want to stunt that at all. And then the backup partnership of Lovren and Matip is fantastic. It's whether you want to Are you going to get rid of Joe Matip and put Conor Cody in there? It's a thought. I'd love to see him at Liverpool, but it's where does he fit in? What does he do? I'm guessing he's more reliable fitness-wise than Lovren and Matip, which is a plus. I'm wondering how much we have to buy him for, considering he's Wolves captain.
Yeah.
And they need to buy someone else in. Again, would it be like 20 to 30 mil? I don't know. What about you?
So, like I said, there's an extensive chat on all of this stuff on the Red Transfer News. It was me, Chris, and Ross. So it was a really good show considering the news that we had to work with today. So I'd highly recommend it if you're going to go and subscribe to it. But for us, what we were saying is, what you're touching on a lot of stuff you've said is price. Whether you can pry him away from a team that he's been captain of in the Championship, brought them up, come up with them into the Premier League, and is now a very good Premier League team. And he's captain and loved the likes of Ruben Neves, big international high performing players. So he's clearly got a lot about him. Like he's got leadership qualities that I think is huge.
Yeah,
especially as a centre half. And I think that you can never have enough leaders in your back line, especially. I mean, he would be, and he obviously he's a scout. Whether he wants to come back, and obviously he's had a spell at Liverpool before. If he wants to come back and he's okay with being on the bench and being in rotation, and I think that's going to be the big question for a lot of our signings, unless we're buying nailed on first team replacements that I don't think we need to make any, to be honest. The team is perfectly fine as it is. It's whether the players you are going to sign are okay with being in rotation with the current squad. And like you said, Gomez and Van Dijk, fingers crossed, neither of them are injured or are they anything long term, are going to be our nailed on centre halves for the foreseeable future. It's whether you can sign replacements that are of a Premier League quality, like Conor Cody, that is willing to come into the team and rotate when necessary.
Yeah, I mean, someone had a lot of people have been speaking about Werner and Malcolm. So Spurs are basically looking to go in for Malcolm on loan. So he plays for Barcelona, 21-year-old lad, plays on the wing. I'm not sure which wing.
It just says a winger.
Yeah, it just says wing. So, I mean, I've heard quite, not loads about him, but I've heard quite a bit about him. As cover, I think it could. If we think we're going back to a 4-3-3 or
Someone said he's a left winger.
Left winger, there you go. So cover there for Mane. So would that be something that would interest you? We do need cover for that left hand side.
Absolutely.
Would we go in for a loan though? And that's the only thing. I don't know if we go in for a loan because Klopp likes to develop people, and what's the point in Klopp as a world-class manager or coach who can develop players into something special? What's the point in loaning someone, giving them all your development and then getting rid of them? You know what I mean? It'd be like, and what happened to Emre Can? It'd be like what happened with Philip Coutinho, where you're losing them for the best years and you're getting them during the rough patch years. Yeah. What I mean. Have you heard anything? Would you like to get at least cover for left back?
Yeah,
I mean left wing. Sorry.
I mean, well, you said it there as well. I think the three sort of positions that I'd like it to
right wing, left footed.
Okay.
Well, either.
Cool. Yeah. Okay, that's fine. So left back, I think, is somewhere that we definitely need to replace in. Goalkeeper. I'd like to get another secondary goalkeeper in, because I think Mignolet is past it. I don't think he's.
Are there many out there who we can buy? Do you reckon though, in terms with the goalkeeper stuff? Because obviously I agree with the Simon Mignolet stuff in terms of he doesn't fit our style of play at all. He doesn't. I mean, he's a good shot stopper.
Chris posed this question on the Red Transfer Roundup. What about Pepe Reina?
Get him back.
34 years old. Would you get him back as a backup?
Yeah. Just because of
36,
nostalgia.
Sorry, I said he's 36 years old. I mean, he's the second best goalkeeper we've ever had.
Yeah.
Debatably.
Well, in recent years.
Number one, yeah, in recent years. So, yeah, so that they're two nailed on positions that I'd like to replace, and I think that the left wing is one that is definitely high on that list. It's got to be on that list for a lot of managers, for Klopp, in that we've got Shaqiri for that right hand side, and Salah can go up front if needed. So you've got players that are utilitarian in that sense, where they can go and chop and change in the 10, the forward, and the right. There's not much on the left. Yeah. In honesty, I mean, we've when we're taking Mane off, we've put the likes of Keita on the left.
Keita, yeah.
Not a natural left winger. We've even put Lallana out there sometimes in the rare appearances he's made this season. The guy, that Malcolm guy, I'd say I've had dribs and drabs of him. He's got a good card on FIFA, which is nice. Left-footed, tricky Brazilian winger is good to have. But say the likes of Spurs are interested? Yeah. Well, for me, if the transfer links, you just have to look at the managers managing them who want them. If Pochettino is liking this guy, then Klopp's got to definitely sort of look at that and be like, well, he can offer something to our team. And I mean, what have you seen?
Sorry, Rayner's back up third choice. Dudek.
Dudek, yeah, that's a good chance more than Stephen Owen.
Yeah.
But no, like I say, I can't say I know a lot about the guy, but I think loaning a guy who's 21, I think he's 21, wasn't he? I think I saw. That's no. Like if you're gonna, we've seen Klopp brings in players, takes them 3 to 4 months to adjust, and even when they get the game time, it takes a further few months for them to get fully match fit and firing on all fronts. And I think that if you're going to sign a young guy, just sign him. I mean,
get him in,
you've got to get him in and just get him adjusted. And if he's going to play and rotate with Mane, then that's a nice sort of outlet you can have on the left. I mean, not long ago we were looking at Lamar. He was the left winger that we were looking to replace with, and I think
he looked quite good as well.
He did, and he's gone to. I don't know where he's gone to now. Is it Lyon? Or did he come from Lyon or go to Atletico? I'm not sure exactly which way around that went, but I think he's having a good career at the minute with whichever club he's moved to.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
And I think he's now at Atletico. So now it's a case of I think we definitely need another forward in there. So like I say, like you can see why the likes of Immobile are being targeted. It's just sort of, do you want young? Do you want experience with Immobile? It's strange. It's going to be an exciting summer for forward buying, because I think with the likes of Origi and Sturridge potentially leaving, there's definitely going to be a hole that's going to be filled there.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the big talk. Obviously, this January, it looks like we're not signing anyone. It looks like if we were to sign someone, it's going to be a deal in place similar to what we did with Keita, where we bought them and then we get them in the summer. Yeah. But I think at this point, I mean, you can tell by just how many rumours that are coming out and stuff. We're not going to buy anyone, and that's fine. I'm not losing my head about it because we're top of the league. Yeah. We're still in the Champions League. Yeah. It doesn't matter. We're getting players who aren't fit back. It's all good. But I think in the summer, there's going to be loads of talk about left wingers or versatile wingers, maybe whether that be strikers who can play at the wing, like or wingers who can play a striker, like we've seen Mo Salah be able to do. It's going to be an interesting summer for sure. Absolutely. But yeah. That was the news for today. Hopefully everyone, enjoyed it, because there's going to be a load more rumours. And look, if there is any news, we will be there straight away with the news, as always. Thank you everyone for watching. If you want to see more in-depth talk on this, there was a massive show on pretty much everything we spoke about. Obviously the Lazar Markovic stuff, which we haven't talked about, but yeah, go on there.
Some exciting stuff about, obviously, the Coutinho links. I know a lot of people are looking for an opinion on that, and it was myself, Ross, and Mr. Chris Pajak who entertained the ideas that Coutinho may be coming back. Is he going to United? So we had a big in-depth discussion on that topic. So redmentv.com if you want to check out that show. And
and then obviously we did the Newsroom podcast with Leanne Prescott. Chris did that before. Fantastic. Leanne's got so many brilliant opinions on football. Really, really good. Just obviously writing about Liverpool, but all around football knowledge is fantastic as well. So that was a great show. But yeah, Paul will be back with the news tomorrow, I'm pretty sure. And then we'll be covering the whole host of stuff after the game.
Palace game coming up.
Yeah, I cannot wait. And then obviously we'll have everything on the Monday with that. The final word, stat show, the man of the match, building up. Well, we're not even building up. We don't have a game for a bit.
We've got some time off.
We'll just
some more of this lovely news show.
Yeah, we'll
have next week.
We'll just talk more biff about rumours. But look, everyone, thank you for watching. We'll see you next time. Ta-ra.